Good morning, good people. I should have cleared my throat before I started talking. How y'all doing? And I ain't ready. I was ready, but I ain't ready. Hold on. I'm looking at my other phone because I have some notes this morning. Like I was really trying to, excuse me, make sure that I didn't miss the stuff that I need to talk to y'all about this morning. So give me a second. Okay, so I wanted to continue on the conversation that I had with y'all on Saturday, which I really wanted to continue it on that same day, but my Sunday was stupid. Like I had an event with my church with the singles ministry. So for those who don't know, yes, I have a business in relationships, but I also am a group lead host at my church for relationships as well. So if you want to join that group too, side note, I don't think you got to go to the church to come, but it's for 45 and up. Y'all, they just put me with the old people. And I'm 46, but low-key, I don't feel old. Like, and I guess that's what all the aunties say. I don't feel old. And they didn't even think I was that old. What do we tell the Lord? Thank you. So the hair, skin, and nails and the collagen from Black Girl, what is it called? The Black Girl vitamins must be working. So anyway, um, but I really wanted to talk to you guys about all of it that day. Um, and really, I want to talk to you about it when I was talking on the phone to my friend because it was so much information. And I think, not I think, I know I get overwhelmed sometimes with a lot of information because I get excited about certain stuff. And I love all things relationships. Like when it just, I just love all things relationships. So whether it's the good, it's the bad, the happy, the sad, like I talk about it all. And so one of the things, basically, if you haven't watched me before, even if you have, I love learning about myself just in general. And I'm going to continue to tap back on the Kevin Gates. I'm going to tap back on it because that's kind of like the premise of this conversation anyway. So again, I'm probably going to be all over the place, but y'all know me, right? I'm always all over the place. So just kind of flow with me where you can. Um, but what I was talking about was relationships. And the conversation that was my homegirl and I had was kind of based on what Kevin Gates was talking about. So during the Club Shay Shay interview, and one of the pieces that he said, and I felt it in my toes when he said it, I promise I did. He was saying that was in in prior relationships, he was looking for his mama. But when he started doing the healing, he started looking for himself. And as my friend and I were talking, we found that all of those things are connected, right? All of them are connected. And she had been telling me a while ago, and I'm just doing a recap from the first conversation. She was giving me the conversation, telling me, Reagan, you need to go back and start looking at your parents, like your dad specifically, because it's going to tell you everything you need to know when it comes to who you dated. And so I began to start, like I was talking it through as I was talking to her about the relationships that I had been in, and I haven't been in many. So I told you I had two boyfriends. I was married, and then I had a situationship, which I count the situationship because he was a part of helping me in my life and understanding certain things. And so what I ended up doing, girl, this don't get me started, but thank you. I'm just gonna say thank you. And so I love the color though. The color is everything. Shout out to Carissa Dickey from Knoxville, Tennessee, Katie Style Studio. So what ended up happening is I like all the guys that I've dealt with got the same situation for the most part. But what I want to talk about are the attributes of those men and then the attributes of the friends that I have because it's all connected. So y'all ready? Please bear with me because y'all know okay, I'll be here, there, and everywhere. So what I started thinking as my dad is a person, because a lot of the times we need to stop looking at our parents as we get older. Stop looking at your parents as my parents. Look at them as adults, especially if you're over 35. Like in 35, I'm really giving y'all grace because just start looking, at your parents as people, not parents, and then you'll start understanding a lot more things, right? All right, bet. So my dad, now y'all know I got two dads. one that I grew up with, which is my adoptive father, Lou. Lou, as a person, super cool. I told y'all, mouthy, gonna get off whatever he got to get off. He gonna say what he got to say, but he was very fun, very entertaining. He was funny. Everybody liked to be around him. All the things, right? Um, but my dad had a drinking problem. But my dad also was a curse breaker on his family. So the things that my dad went through, the enemy used those things to keep him from walking the full distance. Okay. My biological dad. Oh, let me stop there. Let me go back. I don't know this for a fact. I'm gonna ask my mama when we get off of this call. I don't know for a fact, but I believe my adoptive father had a learning disability of some sort. Because I remember, now my mom was a super helpmeet. Hey, listen, in the Bible, there's a picture of her by helpmeet. It's just a picture of her with helpmeet. And so she helped him elevate a whole lot. So he like all the elevation that he got with his jobs and promotions, she helped him. So she was writing all of these papers. She was prepping him, doing all the things, because my mom was the brain in the family. My daddy wasn't dumb, but my mama was super smart. So my dad had the common sense, and not saying my mom didn't have no common sense. She got common sense, but my mama was the brain in the house. And so she would help my dad do a lot of things. And I just believe because he had some kind of learning disability. All right, follow me. Y'all follow me? All right, bet. So my biological daddy, I don't know if he got a learning disability or not. I don't know. And I really need to go talk to him. I was supposed to go for spring break, but I don't think I'm going to be able to go. But I need to call him too. While he's still here, because I really need to learn some more things about him, because as I learn about him, I'm going to learn about me. I don't know if he has one. What I do know is he did not, only went to the third grade. He did not go past the third grade. But one of the things not one of the things, both of my fathers have in common are they are very hard workers. Like, very hard workers, and they're providers by nature. Like, they can do anything. And I remember when I was talking to my biological dad, he would be like, yeah, I'm doing this and this. I'm going deep sea fishing, and I'm cutting the grass, and I'm doing this. Anything to know how he could hustle to get some money, he was on top of it. And my adoptive father, same way. If it was about some money, he get into it. You understand? So both of them, and they both smoked cigarettes and drank beer. That was their thing. And listen, that's what it's so mind-boggling to me, because even though I was not raised with Willis and Eloise, I was still in the same family. God just put me in a different family, but it was the same, because Eloise, my biological mother, is like my mother I was raised with, my adoptive mother. Both saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost, but married to some hell raisers. But they were some cool hell raisers, right? So balance, right? And so my father, my biological father, when I talked to my sister under me, she told me, because y'all know I'm a dreamer, I operate in the prophetic. My biological mother, Eloise, God rest her soul, she operated in the prophetic. Come to find out, Willis, my biological father, operated in the prophetic. Okay? People in the prophetic and visionaries are often connected, because they can do multiple things at one time. So most of the time, I know people are visionaries or operate in the prophetic, or both, because they have a lot, like they can think of a lot of things, like they have a lot of ideas. They just have a lot of ideas. That's one of the first things that I can see on people. They can 10 different businesses, they can run them. They know a little bit about everything. Like, anytime I see a visionary, I'm like, oh, you operating in the prophetic. Like, you either a dreamer, you got intuition, you got something, some part of the prophetic, right? So my father and my mother biologically have the same gift I have. Matter of fact, I got their gift because they passed it to me, right? Okay, fast forward. The husband that I married, I'm not even going to talk about the boyfriends, because they don't necessarily count. They count, but they don't count. My husband, my ex-husband, Now, this is before I knew any of this. So now I'm really looking at my family history now, for real. So my ex-husband, I was telling one of my homegirls, I said, I really believe deep down in my soul he had a learning disability. Because I remember I had to call his school one time to get his transcript. He went to college, but I called his high school because he needed his high school transcript for something. So I remember calling his high school, and his GPA was like a .7 or something. It was something crazy. It wasn't even a 1 nothing. And I called the administration. I was like, hold up. Is this even correct? Like, did he get out of high school with this? Because you had to at least have a 2.0 to graduate from high school. Like, what is this? But he was older than me, so he was 10 years older than me. And he also was from Gary, Indiana. So the rules are different. So I asked her, I said, is this even possible? Because we had to have a 2.0. And she said, back then, all you had to do was come to school. Basically, that's all he was doing, was come to school. Because I was like, baby, this is crazy. But one of the things he would always say is, I got discernment. Like, I know when somebody lying. I can read them. Like, I know when the room is out. He would always say that. But that never clicked with me because that I didn't discover my gift at that time. Like, I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? But going again, what did I tell you? My fathers before me had the same thing. So you see where the cycle is repeating, right? But I didn't even know. That is nothing I picked up. Y'all follow me, okay? So, even when it came to like banking things and like knowing certain things that I felt like were very basic, he didn't know any of those things. And he let me handle those things, right? Because I knew them. When really I think he had a learning disability. Okay? He just covered it up well. But let me tell you how he covered it up well. What did I tell you about my parents back here, my fathers? They were some hustlers. That was about money. They didn't know nothing about this school stuff. How they don't know nothing about this school stuff. Did not do well in school. Didn't finish school, right? But they was hustlers and they knew how to get money. Did y'all hear what I said? They were hustlers and they knew how to get money. They were also curse breakers on their family. Could have been potential curse breakers on their families. Did you hear what I said? All of them have intuition or a part of a prophetic gifting. My fathers, then my husband, ex-husband. Y'all following me? Okay. Fast forward to my situationship. Y'all ready for this? Now, I don't know about his school situation. We never talked about how he was in school. I met him in college a long time ago. But I don't know about his school stuff. We've never talked about that. Matter of fact. But what I do know about him is he is a curse breaker on his family. What I do know about him is he's a visionary, right? What I do know about him is he's a bloodline breaker. What I do know about him is he operates in the prophetic. He is a visionary. He is a dreamer. Do y'all see where all of this is connected? The difference between my fathers and my ex-husband and my situationship, because we're ending at the situationship because that was my last situation, was the situationship 3 years ago. Okay. It was a natural progression of my father. So my situationship had all the attributes, and ex-husband traveled back this way. The only difference is the situationship is now walking in his purpose, which when you continue to walk in your purpose, you will start learning more about yourself. You will start learning about the dysfunctions in your life. You will start healing those dysfunctions in your life. You will start healing and helping others through walking in your purpose. When you start walking and continue to walk in your purpose, as these things start happening, you will become the bloodline breaker that you are. So now let's go to me. What does this have to do with me? So from what you guys know about me, and I'm going to tell you, I didn't do well in school. I don't like school. Listen to me, I barely got out of school. I barely got out. When I graduated from college, I busted my tail. But listen to me in school ain't it. And I remember, and I've told this story before, I remember when I was younger, my mama would do Bible study classes with me on just she would have these devotions and she would have me read it out loud and tell her what I read. And I couldn't do it. It was so frustrating to me. Words on a page, very frustrating to me unless it's something I want to read for real. And I know y'all be like, y'all don't want to, you don't want to read the Bible, girl. No, I wasn't checking for no Bible at that age. What are we doing? And you're getting me up early on a Saturday morning to read this. I don't want to do this. So now it's something I don't want to read for real. Sorry, Lord. You know I love you now. I'm gonna read your word. But I wasn't checking for that. So now you want me to sit up here and read this stuff and then regurgitate what I read, and I don't know how. I had a hard time. And so in school, I had a hard time reading and comprehending. Still to this day, it's the same thing. Trying to read something and comprehend it, cancel Christmas. Unless it's something that I just need to know or I want to know, then I'm going to research it to pieces. And I kept, for a long time, my mom and them was like, Reagan, you just being lazy in school. You being lazy. And I was like, nah, it's something wrong, but I don't know what it is. Fast forward, right before I moved to Houston, I had a supervisor ask me, she said, do you have dyslexia? And I was offended. I was like, why would you say that? Like, what? And she said, because you keep transposing your numbers. Do you have dyslexia? And I said, no. But the real answer is I didn't know, but I knew something was wrong. So I ended up calling my sister, the sister under me, Shafine, because she's the one, I'm closer to her, and I just can get information about what's going on in the family. So I told her what was going on, and she said, oh yeah, we all got it. She said, yeah, we got dyslexia and we got ADHD. And one of us, take medicine for it. And she said, the thing about it is, she said, I have it too, but I've just learned to live with it. So I called my mama and I said, Mama, did you know, this is going on? And she said, well, I knew, this is what my mama said, I knew something was going on with you. I just didn't know what it was. Say what? So I'm in school struggling this whole time and through life this whole time. Y'all calling me lazy. Y'all saying, but it's all the way I learn and how I see things. I'm a visual learner. Don't read me nothing. Do you understand me? You better show me what to do. But visual, visionary. You got the connection now? When you hear people say, I'm a visual learner, 9 times out of 10, they are a visionary person. They stay in their head. They can see, they can do all the things. Now, some people are different. I'm not saying everybody is the same. Don't give me no book unless it's something I want to read for real. Because I am 9 times out of 10, that's why I have to teach my daughter, because I've passed it to her. This is a side note. Because she has the same gift as I have. She operates in the prophetic. She don't want to do nothing she don't want to do. And she's not going to be good for real at nothing she don't want to do. Ask me how I know. Ex-husband the same way. If it's not what I want to do, I'm not doing it. I don't care what it is. And if I feel forced to do it, that's a whole nother. Okay. I'm going down the street. So now I'm figuring out, okay, I've had a learning disability this whole time. And now that I've recognized that, I'm seeing it in my daughter because her grades are trash. But the stuff that she likes doing, she's acing it. So now it comes to the point where I got to get her tested, but the testing takes a long time. Well, it's here at graduation time. So what are we doing? So I'm going up to the school. I'm trying to make sure she's getting into all the classes and all the things so she can graduate. But because I've known that she's like me and her father, right? When it comes to business, because I know she was already going to be in business. She don't like school. I'm not that mama who gonna make you go to school, because I know what that feels like. Go to school to get your degree, work at a job for 25 years and retire. That's not me. That wasn't my ex-husband. That's definitely not my daughter. She's an entrepreneur at heart, by lineage, by blood. Because even with my sisters, they entrepreneurs. My daddy, entrepreneur. They went after it. It's in my bloodline. Do y'all see how all of this stuff is connected? And even the men I date, it's married. It's in their bloodline, right? This is why it is important. And now I can get off of here. because I can continue to go how everything is connected. This is why it's important for you to know who you are. I'm going to go back to what Kevin Gates said again. Before I was healed, I was looking for my mama. But after I, healed and started learning who I was looking for myself. Even though I believe you're born to your parents for a reason. And I believe every generation got to have a bloodline breaker somewhere. And it's something in that bloodline needs to be healed. And or you are called to heal others outside of a bloodline. Because I remember having conversations with my situationship. And I could, like, God downloaded so much stuff about him to me, it was ridiculous. And even though he does well financially, with his job and stuff, he still was not walking out his purpose. And so God would highlight a whole, like, it was stuff that God would download and highlight to me. And it's still stuff I haven't even told him about. I've had probably 25, 30 dreams about him and his life, his childhood, how he is as a person, like all of these things. And God was showing me he's still not walking in the purpose that I have him to walk. Like, God's hand is literally on him. But as he's now, because he's now starting to walk in purpose, as he's walking in purpose, he will start seeing these things, right? And the light bulb is going to come on, right? For different things in his life. But that's why I said you have to heal, because it's just important that you heal. It's important that you know who you are. It's important to know how God made you and how he wired you. Because once you understand that, and you understand that you're supposed to heal parts of your bloodline, and that you're supposed to heal other people, because everybody, this is why I say my friends and I are connected. Because guess what all my friends have that are close to me? We all some hustlers. We all have ADHD, or most of us have some kind of something. We're all visionaries. We're all hyperactive. We all just go after it. Business owners. Those are all my friends. But when I started seeing that right before I moved to Houston, that's why I know God had to, like, really show me who I was or am and becoming before I got here. Like, I actively had to start working on that before I got here. Because now the assignment, even at church, even dealing with these relationships, if I have not done the work, I can't properly talk to y'all about relationships because I haven't done the work. I can talk to y'all about my past stuff, and that's great, but what's the solution? How am I going to help you get from A to B if I ain't figured it out? Like, I have my Waiting to Exhale vision board party. Even at church, I talked about how to build a man, because everybody's like, you can't build a man. You absolutely can. It's in the Bible. I did it, and I'm gonna show you how to do it. Like, we have got to change our mindset when it comes to a lot of stuff. That's what the word says. Renew your mind daily, and keep your eyes on God. I was talking, and this is a side note, I'm gonna get out your way. I was talking about the Super Bowl and all this stuff that is going on with the Super Bowl. And I'm going to be honest, that thing got into my spirit because I could not sleep. I'm a feeler anyway, so I just don't like the commentary of the stuff that was going on. And at the end of the day, you have got to be careful when you say who you following for real. Because people can say, oh, I love Jesus. I love Jesus, but this. You better be careful what that but is after you say you love Jesus. Because at the center of loving Jesus is love. And it doesn't matter their race, their creed, if they're gay, if they're whatever. It doesn't matter. You are called to love. And there are acts throughout the Bible, specifically where people, like, okay, the adulterous woman, when she was up there sleeping with whoever she was sleeping with, and they was ready to stone her. Listen to me, they was ready to stone her to death, but they wasn't saying nothing about the man. but ready to stone her. And God said, Jesus said, he who is without sin cast the first stone. Let me tell you who can't talk about nobody. Us. And at the end of the day, love covers a multitude of sin. So whatever sin you are in, love is supposed to cover it. And your job as a Christian is to show love, not divisiveness. Not divisiveness. And not judge. Because let me tell you, I may look clean on the outside, but my insides and my thoughts be real nasty. Be real nasty. And I said, God, are you sure you want me to teach these relationship classes for real? He said, yeah, because people can come and talk to you about anything. They can come and talk to you about anything, and you don't judge them. And that's rare when it comes to church people. Let me be clear. A lot of the conversations that I have had with people concerning relationships, they would never be able to talk to somebody in the church about it because they know it's going to be turned up. And for me, I don't understand that for the life of me, because at the end of the day, we're all flawed. We're all flawed. We all are fleshy. We all need Jesus. We all need repentance daily. I had a conversation yesterday. I don't know, God led me to call her. This is someone I don't even talk to for real. But we've talked a few times because she's a dreamer. So she'll call me to decode her dreams sometimes. And I ended up talking to her on the phone 2 hours. Well, the same stuff I had going on, she had it going on. And she said, oh my God, Reagan. She said, I'm so glad you called me. She said, because it feel like you're talking about my life. She said, I wanted to call you a few weeks ago. And I said, no, because I don't got nobody to talk to. Listen to me. Do you know how many times I've heard that? That people's secrets are safe with me. It didn't used to be that way. It didn't used to be that way. It did not used to be that way. But I want people to have a safe space when they come and talk to me and know that they're not being judged for real. Because, yes, everybody does judge, but it's like you got to fix your posture and your heart posture when you're dealing with God's people. Because we be going through some things. And I can literally make or break somebody doing something about their life for real or their situation for real. I had a conversation with this lady this past weekend. Let me see how I can tell this. She was asking for prayer in a group of ours. And she was saying she was having a dream about some things. Now, you talking about dreams, you talking to me. Because I've been dreaming for a long time, right? She's saying that, talking about this dream, I'm not going to go into details. She was talking about this dream. And I immediately, when she was talking, I heard some things. And I asked her a question. And she was like, no, but I knew she was lying. Like, I knew she was lying, but she doesn't know me. So I guess she didn't feel comfortable saying. So I was like, okay, cool. So then we actually meet face to face, and the time comes up and she's talking about her situation. And I asked her some questions, and I looked at her. I said, but I asked you this the other day. I asked you. Well, I'm not. And I just looked at her. Y'all, I'm telling you, you better be a Christian that is in position to talk to people that are dealing with real life. We live in the real life. We live in real life. We have real feelings. We can be single and be horny. Let me tell you something. After 40, when that ovulation time hit, you be wanting to get hit. Do you understand me? And not in a bad way. I want to be under something with somebody's son's chain swinging in my face. And I'm good and saved. But when that ovulation time hit, and I ain't had none in 3 years, baby, listen, it's more than a cold shower. So after that cold shower, what are we doing? We have to go back to purpose. But I have to also be real with those feelings. Because people are going through that. Reagan, how do you maintain without having somebody? How do you maintain? I maintain through my friendship. First of all, God. I maintain through God. I know what I want in a relationship. That I have a good foundational of friendships. I have wonderful friends. I have spiritual advisors. I have my purpose. I have my kid. I have a life. And so if I didn't have all of those things, I would be somewhere like, I don't know. I don't know. Because while I love sex, it is not an important factor in what I got going on now. And I don't want to give my body to somebody who don't care nothing about me. And then you dealing with a soul tie that you can't get rid of, or it's hard to get rid of. Been there. It does not feel good when you want to let somebody go and they here or they're here. It don't feel good. And it's not worth it, especially when you can't have them. Don't nobody want that. Nobody wants that. So instead, we're going to get these relationships that we want and need and that God desires for us. Because again, I told you this, back onto the conversation that I had yesterday. I'm going to say this and get out your way because I said that 5 minutes ago and that didn't happen. The conversation that I had yesterday is proving what God told me to be true. There are a lot of relationships now that are not going to be soon because they are with the wrong person. They're with the wrong person. And they're with the wrong person because of a lot of things, but it's purpose. It's purpose. It's purpose. God has a purpose for your life, and you have it to fulfill in yourself and through your partner to help others. And not that everybody is called to be married, because some people just don't want to be married. They don't want to be married, but I do. Like I'm supposed to be married. I'm somebody's wife, not somebody's a good clean man. I'm somebody's good thing. Do you hear me? And so while I'm preparing myself, because God is preparing me, while I'm preparing myself, I'm actively preparing others as well. So we're all in this thing together. We all in the same game. As Michelle said, some of y'all too young for that. But we're all in this together. So it is my responsibility as I find out who I am and trace the bloodline. I'm going to help other women do the same thing. Because aren't you tired of dealing with the same dude in a different body? Because we need to realize, and it's not just them. We have to take responsibility for ourselves and accountability for ourselves, which many women don't do. And I'm going to say many, and I said what I said. Women, a lot of women, especially the ones I dealt with, they love to blame the other man. The man, not the other man, the man. It's his fault that he didn't. Nah, it's yours. It's yours. Because you could have cut it off. You didn't have to participate. It takes two to participate. You were an active participant, and you trying to blame him. Nah. And I'm going to always go back to this statement. My ex-husband was a cheater. He was a cheater when we dated. He was a cheater when we were married. I saw the film before we got married. I knew what type of dude he was. But I said, you know what? He has good qualities here. I like him. He's fun. He's entertaining, just like my dad. He's the life of the party. Everybody likes him. He got money. He gonna be a good daddy. I'll overlook the other stuff. It'll get better. It did not. So whose fault is that? I can't divorce him and be like, he cheated on me. No, I married him. I could have graduated and moved to Charlotte like I was supposed to, and I did not. So whose fault is that? Mine. And not to say he was a bad person. We had a pretty good marriage. Like, it wasn't that bad. You know what I'm saying? We just weren't for each other. And so now that I know who I am and what I want, and I'm actively learning who I am, I want a sprinkle of what my parents were, my dads were. But I want more of what I got on me now. I want a purpose partner. I want to be able to support my person and what he got going on. And I want him to support me too. And not just in purpose, but in life. Learning about himself. Learning about loving himself. We learning how to love each other, better. Learning about God more. Being our authentic self. A lot of people don't even know how to be their authentic self because they too busy trying to be somebody else. I don't want that. I don't want to, hide behind being a specific way. Like, yeah, I'm saved, But I'm not your typical saved person. Like, I'm going to say some off the wall stuff. I think off the wall. I'm not like everybody else. I don't want to be like everybody else. A lot of stuff don't move me. A lot of money don't move me. I've been around money. I came from money. Listen, I've dealt with all of that. And I told you, people can pay you to go away so they can go and do what they want to do. So all the expensive cars and the jewelry I don't care nothing about that. I care about your heart posture. I care about your fruit that you display. I don't care nothing about you talking about you a Christian. Because a lot of the stuff that I've been seeing online and people talking about Christian, I will beg to differ. So anyway, I'm gonna pop off here. I have an event this evening on my Patches and Perspectives event. I was hired to do a Galentine's Day party today, and then I have another one on Saturday. So I need to get out and go prepare for that. But thank you so much for joining me. The people who needed to see it, I'm glad you saw it. You guys have a blessed day. This is your girl Reagan Adams with Dating Instead Who Killed It, the Build a Man Workshop, and Patches and Perspectives, where we make bad hair days look good. Y'all have a good one. Bye.